Welcome back to my next video. Today we're meeting Tracy, who is in a really nice Sunrader, and I am just a huge fan of these Sunraders. So, Tracy, are you full-time?
No, not at this time. Right now I've been out for about 4 months. I got to head back to Michigan, see my kids, and then I'll be out as soon as I can again.
Are you working or retired?
I retired last spring, so I took an early retirement and decided I had enough.
So you're retired and you're able to travel, but like a lot of us, your family holds you to home,
Correct.
and so
Correct.
you'll be spending summers in where? What?
In Michigan. In
Michigan.
Michigan. Yeah.
And then you love the winters in Michigan, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're I like being there for about a week. So
A week of winter.
Yeah, as soon as my kids go back to school, I'll hit the road again.
Right. And that's to my mind, that's perfect. Have a home base and family, and then get out and travel in the winter, get the good weather. That's perfect to my mind. And it's working well for you so far.
Yeah, I've actually been working seasonally for the last 10 years, and so taking the entire summers off and spending it with the kids, doing boating and camping and stuff like that.
So this is kind of a second nature to you to get out and just go and be in a rig.
Yeah, I realized in high school that the traditional, way of life wasn't going to work for me.
You were a wise man, a wise, very young man in high school.
Yeah, I missed that first van craze back in the 70s. I was in the Virgin Islands and I bought a customized van in high school, and so I was a vanner back right after I got my driver's license.
Right. Yeah, to me, a van just makes so much sense. But you've ended up in the Sunrader, and tell us about Sunraders.
Well, one of the big advantages is you can stand up, and it's all fiberglass, so less chance there's no wood to vibrate loose, or the only potential for leaks is where you've cut holes in the roof.
And you're a tall guy. You're 6'3"?
No, I'm just 6 foot.
Oh, 6 foot.
Yeah, so if I take my shoes off, I don't have a problem with hitting my head in there.
And Sunraders are kind of hard to find, aren't they?
Yeah, they've started getting a pretty good following. And
Kind of a cult almost.
yes, and I was lucky to find this one was in Napa Valley, and I called a buddy of mine. I was in Michigan, called a buddy. He went up, looked at it, said, yeah, it'll do. And so I wired him the money and bought it sight unseen.
And this one is, they were all made on small pickup bodies. Is that right?
Yeah, they did make a Sunrader that you could put in the back of your truck.
Ah, a slide-in camper.
Yes, yeah, and those are pretty cool too. And they came up with some pretty interesting things, like the whole back would open, so if you wanted to load your motorcycle or something like that, it would work. So they were kind of thinking before most of the other companies were.
And so most of them are on Toyotas, other than the slide-in camper, which is on anything you put it on. Most of them are built on Toyotas.
Yes.
And you've got a Nissan.
Yes. That was something that I decided before I bought one that I did not want a 4-cylinder. I wanted the 6-cylinder. And then when I found out they made some on Nissans, I was a big Nissan fan. So I decided it was either buy the 4-wheel drive ones, which were very hard to find, or find the Nissan one.
Oh, so this one is a 2-wheel drive.
Yes.
Although, are the majority of them 4-wheel drive, or
No,
they're mostly 2-wheel drive?
Yeah, there were only 25, I do believe, 4-wheel drive ones made.
And were those all Toyotas?
Yes.
Yeah, they were on the V6 Toyota.
No, all of them were 4-cylinder.
Oh wow, that's a small engine and a big heavy rig.
Exactly.
So there was one year where they made them Nissan V6, and then they switched to the Toyota V6. Is that right?
That's what I do believe, because almost every one you see is either an 87 or 88, which, depending This is on an 87 chassis. It's a 1988. Toyota came out with the V6 in 88, so they jumped back over to Toyota.
Right. And when did they stop making them?
I think it was like 92.
92.
What I just found out, I was looking, back when this was made, the national speed limit was 55. And these can do 55, no problem, all day long. Then they bumped it up to 65, and then in the early 90s, they just did away with a national speed limit. You can make it whatever you wanted. And so I think that was the death of the small motorhomes, because 65 is about all you want to cruise.
Right. So they really weren't keeping up in their places in the country where it's 85 and almost unlimited.
Yeah, and also the gas prices went back down.
Right.
And so who cares if your rig only got 8 miles to the gallon if you could go 75 miles an hour?
Right. And plow up hills and
Right, exactly.
Hills are the big thing.
Yeah.
And so they're very light. I would assume it's a really light rig.
Yeah, it's like 5,300 pounds.
That is very light. So what kind of gas mileage are you getting it if you keep it at a reasonable speed?
Normally 14 and a half. I've gotten as good as 18.
And I see you're pulling a trailer, and does it pull the trailer okay, apparently?
Yes, I pretty much had a trailer behind it the entire time that I've owned it. I needed a rig. My last year working in California, I needed a daily driver that I could live in. So I bought a Class B that was better for a daily driver and driving in the LA traffic and stuff like that. And that worked out great. But now that I retired and it came down to I only needed one rig, the much newer Class B was the one that I got rid of.
And kept the Sunrader.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it had more room and more comfort?
Yes.
That's why.
And it's really laid out. It feels much bigger.
Feels like a home.
Yes.
Kinda.
And it's no bigger than a van, other than it's taller and it's square.
Right.
So it just feels a lot bigger.
Well, why don't we go ahead and take a look inside and see exactly how it feels to us too?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do that, folks. So, folks, now we've stepped inside and we're taking a look around inside the Sunrader, and it feels really big and open for such a small rig and light rig.
Yes, that's what I like about it. For only 18 feet, bumper to bumper, I can sleep 2 people back here and 2 people over the cab.
Wow. Yeah, so this folds out.
Yes, I have a little dining room table that I can put in here. I like to have it out when I don't need it. Gives me more room.
And do you sleep over the bed then?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's where you sleep.
Yeah.
And at 6 foot, you can go across no problem.
Yes. It's actually bigger than in some of the newer Class C's, which I thought was amazing. I think it's 78 inches. A lot of the newer Class C's have 75-inch beds.
Right. So yeah, that's plenty. And then you just leave this out as a dinette.
Yes.
Couch.
Yeah. And I have this for storage underneath and keep my water and my dirty clothes underneath there.
So why don't you go ahead and give us a quick tour? Do you have any solar? I see you have an AC.
Yes. I've got, I had 200 watts of solar. Now I'm down to 100. Don't Velcro your solar panels onto your roof.
It blew off.
One of them did.
Wow.
Yeah. But I bought the flex panels.
Right.
And it was a crosswind that just a gust and blew that one panel off. So yeah, it has air conditioning. We went camping right after I first got it. It had a swamp cooler on it. My daughter got heat stroke, and so I went out and I bought the air conditioner and a Honda 2000 watt generator. And so whenever she felt like she needed to cool down, she could come in here, start up the generator, and this little 9,000 BTU air conditioner cools it right down.
Good.
Lots
of storage.
Lots of storage for all my clothes. on this side, and then over here we keep all the food. You know, I got a four burner stove and an oven. And then down below here is a nice drawer to keep all your pots and pans and dishes and stuff like that. So, and I got a closet, hang all my hanging stuff.
Very nice.
Oh, and this is silverware drawers.
Very nice.
And
Really good use of space.
junk drawer.
All have those.
Yep. So yeah, I was very impressed with the way that they laid everything out. And my fridge, and this is a cheap little thing I got at Walmart. I think it was 20 bucks. I threw the outside thing in the refrigerator, so it's 34 degrees in my fridge.
So it's small, but it's a complete home. Has everything you need.
Yes, and it's very comfortable. I like laying back here and watching my little 13-inch television, and I think all the time while I'm back here, I go, "This is great."
This is great, yeah. And you got tremendous windows back here.
Yes.
We've closed them for the light, but with the windows open, you've got a view. Here's your bed. This is where you're sleeping.
Yep. It's plenty big enough for two people.
And do you have a bathroom?
Yes, that was another selling point. That has it's quaint, but it actually gets the job done quite well. It's a wet bath.
Wet bath, so
Right.
it all stays in there. You got your toilet, and then the shower head is right here.
Yep. And I've got it down to it takes about a gallon of water for me to take a nice hot shower.
And so you're using both the toilet and the shower.
Yes.
So you're dumping your tanks and doing the whole standard thing.
Yeah, I thought about I used to do the porta potty type thing with the chemicals, and I felt that was more of a hassle to try and find a place to dump it. And then, thinking about the sawdust, doing that, and I just didn't want to mess with it. Having holding tanks is not an issue. I think, every 3 weeks or something, you're going by someplace that's
Right.
going to have a dump, and
Right.
it's $10.
Well, it's a great little home. I can see why the Sunrader, and they've become really cult. You have to really search to find a Sunrader anymore.
Right, and also for a rig that's 30 years old, it's really held up well.
Right. And parts and service are simple.
Yes, and that's another thing I liked about the truck over the van, was it's very easy to get to everything in the engine.
Right.
Yeah, I just bought a Nissan 4x4 that has 211,000 miles on it, and I just can't believe how well that thing runs. The
Right.
engine is so smooth, and I'm going to use it as a donor to convert this over to a 4x4.
Right. Really shoot its value up, and then it's a four-wheel drive.
Yeah.
It can really go a lot of places.
Right, that's, and not planning on doing outrageous 4x4, but it's that extra security, getting back and not getting stuck.
Right. To me, the big thing is you go back as far as the RVs and a little further. And if you can do that, and a four-wheel drive with this would easily do that, then that's well worth it to me. Okay, well, Tracy, thank you so much for sharing your home and your life with us. It's really wonderful, and it's something people should really look into, finding a Sunrader.
Yeah, and there are plenty of older Class Cs that, that were unique, and that doesn't necessarily have to be a Sunrader, but I love it.
Okay, well, thanks so much again, folks. I hope you got something out of us. You enjoyed the tour of the Sunrader. If you did, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you. Bye.